Hi guys, welcome to our very first KLSA podcast. Hello there, my name is Steve. I'm a Part 2.5 student studying criminology and law.
Hi, and I am Vespa. I'm in Part 2 of law studying sociology and criminology.
We'll be the host for these podcast series and we'll be speaking with guests within our legal community.
Today we are here with our Minji 변호사님 from Buddle Findlay. Minji, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, kia ora everybody, 안녕하세요. My name is Minji Yang, so Yang Minji in Korean. I am a third year solicitor in the corporate commercial team here at Buddle Findlay. I summer clerked at Buddle Findlay and I'm also a University of Auckland alumni, so I studied a law and arts degree majoring in politics and Chinese.
Chinese. Well, wow, the food looks really amazing here, right? Thank you, Buddle Findlay, for providing us the goods.
Thank you.
Thank you. The food looks amazing. Should we dig in? Should we just try some food?
Yeah. Let's restart.
딱 됐어.
맛있다, 떡볶이.
So where'd you get this from?
We got it from Oba Snacks. They make one of the best tteokbokkis in town, I'd say.
So for lunch, you have personally requested for tteokbokki and 참치김밥.
Yes.
It's a classic. What makes this your go-to Korean snack?
When I was at university, I don't want to say latte, but my day, there used to be a kimbap store on campus.
Oh, really?
It's gone now.
Oh.
But there used to be a kimbap store, and I used to. The kimbap is my favorite, so I would always get kimbap on rainy days, and they'd also have like a one of the 컵라면s on the side, and I get the udon and have it together. So that was my kind of memory of like university, like kind of hybriding kind of cultures between, you know, Kiwi like classics and also just Korean food, and so it reminds me of uni days, but also I just am a genuine fan of 참치김밥 and tteokbokki. I don't think you can go wrong with those two, so yeah.
I guess it does remind you of like Korean culture where you go through the streets and there's like that one 할머니 providing all the goods.
Yeah, so good.
That's great.
We're gonna have to ask you the mandatory question just every Korean.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know your MBTI?
Yes, I do. I am. Wait, you guys can guess.
Oh, should we
Yeah,
guess?
you guys guess.
Okay.
I love this. Yeah.
Okay. I'm definitely getting an extroverted energy. Yeah.
I think I can agree on that as well.
You agree on that? Yeah. ENFJ.
Yes.
Oh my god.
You know, I was actually thinking the same thing as well.
Were you
Yeah,
as
I
well?
was thinking
Wow.
the same thing.
No, because Steve and I are really interested in MBTIs.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of MBTI.
We can say that we're proud to say we have a philosophy in MBTI.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We know that law students can't live without coffee, and so this is a rapid fire question.
Yes.
What's your go-to coffee order?
I actually don't drink coffee. I know.
Whoa.
I don't drink
Me
any.
too.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, right.
What
I
is
don't-
my coffee?
Yeah, I don't drink coffee. I really want to take part in the coffee culture, but my body can't take it. I've tried so many different types of coffee, like decaf with different types of milk, but it just doesn't work for my system. And so I am actually a tea drinker. So when we go out, like when our team has coffees, I have tea or orange juice.
Orange juice.
Yeah.
Classic.
But I've never relied on caffeine for, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. We have a lot of students that are watching this because they're interested in applying for the summer clerkship at Buddle Findlay. To give them a better idea,
Yeah.
what's a typical day at Buddle Findlay like as a junior lawyer?
Yeah. So it varies day to day. I know probably everyone will say this if they're a lawyer, it varies every day. But I'll give you like a typical Monday for me. So I start at 8:30. So I usually like do Pilates or do some sort of sport in the morning, because in the afternoon I just want to relax. So usually go for a run or do something in the morning. We've got like downstairs at our offices, we've got like a trip, it's called end of trip facilities, and they've got showers and things. Do that, come back into the office at 8:30, and we have our team meeting usually at like around, I'd say 10 o'clock, but before that we usually go grab a team coffee. So we go to the hub, make our coffees, and then kind of chat about the weekend and catch up.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah. And then back at my desk, and basically sometimes I'll have tasks flowing over from the last week, so carrying on with those tasks. Sometimes I'll get new tasks from partners, depending on, during the team meeting we could communicate like I've got capacity or I've got XYZ on. But as a junior lawyer, a lot of different varying types of work, because you get to work with different types of people. You're still growing your technical skills. So I have done anything from company and corporation to dealing with unhappy and people who are not paying for their birth licenses at marinas. I've done medico-legal work, so a broad range in the corporate commercial space. Yeah.
How big's the team?
So my team, for example, we've got, I work under David Thompson and Lizette Hood, so that's 2 partners, and then we've got a special counsel, Catherine Miller, and she specialises in medico-legal work. And then we've got 1 senior solicitor, and then it's me, and then another solicitor 1 year below me. So we're quite a small team, I would say. So yeah, other teams, I can't speak to other teams because there's so many differing sizes. So I rotated in IFAB, which is Insolvency Finance Asia Business, and that's a huge team. That's like 20 odd people. So it really depends on the team and the structure and how people want to structure the team. Yeah.
Right.
Well, would you be able to explain more broadly about the work you do as a solicitor in the corporate and commercial team?
Yeah. So my team is a little bit different to other teams at other big firms. So we're a hybrid between corporate work and commercial work. So sometimes we do a bit of M&A, so when businesses buy businesses, things like that. And then a lot of other work is actually public sector clients and commercial contracting. So for me as a junior, I will help, usually it will involve me going into a client meeting and meeting the client, understanding what does your business do? What kind of agreement do you want? Where do the risks lie? And what do you want to negotiate? Things like that. And then we draft agreement based on kind of what the parties want. So it's really pure contract law sometimes. And then sometimes it's company, incorporation, deregistration, anything, corporate advisory work like directors' duties, or a company wants to do a particular thing, whether it's allowed in the Act. I've done procurement stuff as well. So there's a separate, for public sectors, there's a lot of steps you need to take if you want to procure and buy specific things. So you need to go through a process. A lot of work with so many different sectors. So dairy sector, fuel sector, a big client of ours is actually Z. So a lot of that.
The fuel one?
Yes, fuel, yeah. And so, very different and varying work. So every day is actually so different for me. Yeah.
Well, it's quite scary because you mentioned contract law, which is what I'm doing right now. So it's shivers, contract is important, guys. Well, when you first started working, I'd assume you had a rough idea of what the job would be like, right? Was the job what you would think it'd be, or is it a little bit different to what you would thought it'd be?
I hate to break it to you, but it's very different. So company law, I think a lot of law school teaches you a couple of things. So it teaches you skills, like research skills, how to analyze a problem, and how to kind of present answer to an issue. And then a lot of it is actually cases, right? So according to this case, this happened, and this is a contentious point of law. But when it comes to actual practice, a lot of times things, because I'm not in litigation, don't end up in court or end up in the brink of going to court.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is actually you learn a lot on the job. So you don't learn the specific mechanics of a company and corporation during law school. You learn it on the job. And things like that, and also just how to present. The way you write answers to a legal question is quite different to how you present to a client. Because some of these clients are very sophisticated clients who you're talking to another in-house legal counsel who will understand straight away what you mean by XYZ. But then you're also talking to people who are just commercial managers who don't really have a good legal base. So you kind of have to, so you really have to kind of break it down, make it easy for them to understand. And then I'm working with Korean clients, and they're a different type of client in themselves. So you have to, I think the skills you get from law school are really useful. Adaptability and just attention to detail, things like that. But when it comes to actual practice, I think you learn a lot on the job. And so training is actually quite important. Yeah.
So you could say that all the dramas are just fantasies of what law.
To a certain degree, I would say so. But if you're in litigation, for example, it's a completely different story. So it might be because I'm in corporate commercial, but yeah. But it's fun. I don't want to say it's not fun. It is fun. It's just different to, I think, what law school like, I don't think they teach you the practical skills, and that's where profs comes in, because profs teaches you those practical skills.
Well, that was very insightful. Thank you.
That's very interesting. And so we are aware that you are part of the D&I team at Buddle Findlay. So diversity must be super important to you, especially as a female Korean lawyer in Auckland. We just want to ask, did you have to overcome any challenges on the way, or?
I think from the outset, the interview process is quite different for a Asian woman applying for.
In what way?
I think there's a lot of layers. I think first of all, when you're interviewing, it's a lot of networking and small talk, and I feel like at a certain, because our hobbies and interests are so different, sometimes it's actually quite hard sometimes to actually build a good conversation with people who you kind of have nearly nothing in common. You do have like a lot of things in common. Like there's certain topics that you bring up, like traveling or kids or common topics or sports. But I find at the outset, yeah, I've got like there's quite different interests there, and so I found that a little bit. And my upbringing was very different, so I feel like in that sense it was a bit of a I need to, learn a bit more, and I need to have a broader kind of mindset in that respect. But it's actually really how ambitious you are, and I don't think it's a challenge per se. I think there's so many other Korean lawyers out there who will help you along the way, but it's just I think sometimes you're a bit mindful about that. So yeah, a lot of different things. But at Buddle, because I was D&I chair last year, I really tried to push for a lot of different things. So Lunar New Year, for example, we had a morning tea. I brought in yakgwa, hangwa, all these things to try and promote our culture. Chuseok 때도 떡이랑 various things. When it was my birthday last year, my team actually, the partner of my team, he actually bought kimchi the day before and made the kitchen make toasties, kimchi toasties, and he bought dok as well and choco pie, custard, because he was like, you really like sharing your culture, and I want to show that we appreciate that. And so I was really 너무 감동받았어 그때, because I was like, they really thought about me. And then there's other things we've got quite a few Korean lawyers at Buddle now, so we actually have a fortnightly catch up. Yeah, so with Hakjun, and we sit down and have coffee and talk about what kind of work we've got on, and just in general how to catch up.
Catching up.
Yeah. And so really good. And I meet some of the other Korean lawyers outside of work, just on a Sunday with our dogs. It's just a really good Korean community here, and I'm really trying to foster it. Yeah.
Well, it's great that you brought up culture and events. Culture and social life is very important for young workers these days. And I know it's common for law firms to have traditions and events. What are some of your highlights in Buddle Findlay?
So we've got quite a number of social events during the year, highlights we say, where we do every year. So quiz night. Quiz night usually happens in May, and the law clerks actually create the questions for the quiz night and run the quiz night. So that's a big tradition we have. We have ball, which is a classic. And then also at the end of the year we have a Christmas party, and we have these things called Law Clerk Awards, and the law clerks basically present awards to different members of the firm for various different things, really funny things. For example, what did we have? A best friend award for two people at the firm who are really close, or things like that. So yeah, a lot of opportunity for grads and clerks to get involved.
Ooh. So what would be your favorite? Have you won any prizes in the quizzes? What are the quizzes about?
So the quizzes are general knowledge. Our team is not particularly good or strong, but we go hard on costumes. So we've almost every year, I'd say, won the costume prize.
Wow, that is a flex.
We are dedicated to costumes. Yeah, so we usually come last on the quiz, but we get awarded for our costume. Best costume. Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah, winner's a
That's
win.
what
Yeah,
matters.
it's still a win. Yeah.
So what type of costumes would it be? Harry Potter theme? I don't know.
Yeah,
Lord of the
varying
Rings,
themes.
Star
So
Wars?
last year it was outdoors.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we dressed as what did we dress as?
A tree.
Lumberjacks.
Oh.
Yeah, a tree.
Similar. Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks.
They do have a common.
Yeah, okay,
they do have
okay.
in common.
I was thinking teenage.
Yeah.
So like I mentioned earlier, a lot of students are watching right now for the summer clerkship. In your opinion, what kind of candidates do you think Buddle Findlay is looking for?
Yeah. So this is a question we get asked a lot. And we are really looking for all-rounded people and people who resonate with our values. So a lot about collaboration, integrity, and also just being yourself. I know it's really hard sometimes when you're interviewing and you want to kind of create a persona.
You want to impress them.
And I think sometimes, you create like a version of yourself that's not quite genuine and authentic, but we really want people to present, I know it sounds really cliche, but just really genuine, be yourself, and just offering offering like having an interest in the firm and what we do, and it's a lot about values, I think, for our firm,
And what skills would you say you value the most in a co-worker?
As a junior, I think proactiveness and curiosity. They're two big things. Like good attitude will get you so far. And attention to detail is also a really important one. As a lawyer, write notes. Write notes.
I'm writing this down
Attention to
furiously.
detail, I think, as a junior is quite important. You need to be quite precise, but also have a good attentive eye to things.
Right.
But I think because from my perspective, you bring a breadth of kind of legal knowledge in terms of law school, but when you actually come to the job, a lot of it is the technical skills you'll grow. So it's other things, are you a team player? Are you curious? And are you willing to do the work? I think those are probably the most important things, I'd say.
Right. And finally, with the $1 million question, do grades matter?
Grades. Yeah. I want to say that it's not the be-all, end-all. Grades they do play a mix in how we assess, but we have because I'm part of the graduate recruitment committee, so I know what kind of criteria we look at.
Right.
It's very holistic. So we do look at some grades, but it's not the most important thing. We look at other things what are you doing outside of school?
Like extracurriculars?
Extracurriculars, part-time jobs. I think people downplay part-time jobs that are not related to the legal industry. But I did no kind of legal part-time jobs when I was a student. So I worked at Tank, I worked at Flo and Frankie, and those, I think those are very valuable experiences in terms of time management skills and working with other people, collaborating with other people, and also the kind of small hurdles you deal with in those kind of jobs, and customer service, for example. So I want to say don't downplay part-time jobs. They are really important, and also get involved as much as you can with sports or extracurriculars, whatever draws your interest. Don't be afraid to kind of get involved.
Yeah, no, because I have seen a lot of people delete their part-time jobs from their CVs when they're applying
don't
for
do that,
places. Yeah, but I think I also recognize that those part-time jobs teach you a really big lesson. Yeah, for sure.
Well, we know the recruitment process is super busy, and there's thousands of applicants coming in each year. What are some tips for clerkship applicants to make their CV and cover letter stand out a bit more?
I'm sure a lot of students are doing this already, but really research the firm. What kind of things have they worked on? What are the values? What are they? And a lot of the recruitment, firms will have recruitment dedicated pages on the website dedicated to recruitment. So look at that. What kind of values? You should be really weaving those values and your experiences and kind of making it very tailored to the firm. So I think just have just look into the firm and make sure you do your research and actually apply and get to know people. So come to the open days. Really just come and chat to people, talking to people, and it's different just looking at a CV and a cover letter and talking to people. They're animated, right?
Yeah.
So it's a really good opportunity to network and talk to people at the firm. And I think you should really be actively seeking those opportunities to talk to HR people or people at the firm. Get to know. It's a two-way process, right? People are applying, but also we want you as well.
Yeah.
So it's are we a good match? Really, at the end of the day, it's that. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of law grads and interns require mentorship, especially when they're stepping out of their comfort zone into clerkships. What kind of support systems have you been seeking or have sought in the past that's helped you be where you're at right now?
Really good question. So at Buddle, you have an interview. You have a buddy during your interview process, but also when you are a summer clerk and you're a law clerk, you actually also have a buddy. So their buddies are usually a couple of years above you, and so they can kind of all the silly questions that you kind of don't want to ask, they can answer, and they can give you insights into the firm, the people, the culture, and so that's a big kind of support network. And then you've got your supervisor who will step you through like the work-wise, but also, you know, in terms of well-being as well. And I think the biggest thing that we also offer is we have a lot of junior training programs. So every week I'd have like a training session on different areas of the firm. So it could be like public law, like OIO, it could be banking law, and so many different types of training to really upskill you. And it's a time to ask questions, it's a time to learn a different area of practice. And we've got lots of like lunchtime seminars, lots of avenues to really upskill and learn.
Wait, Vespa, doesn't that sound like our kind of buddy system that we have at KLSA?
Yeah, no, I was going to say it's really, I'm sure you're aware since
Yeah.
you've been one of our professional buddies in the past, but we also have a buddy system within the club and outside the club where we connect other students together and like create mentorships so that younger students can get through law school more easily.
Yeah.
I think it's great that we have buddy systems outside and insides. Finally, what are the opportunity for students after their clerkships at Buddle Findlay?
So is it like if you don't get a summer clerkship?
After getting supported, after the clerkship finishes, how is it like afterwards? Do you guys still contact each other?
Oh yes, so before they come back as a law clerk? Yeah. So yes, so the summer clerk intake from last year, last summer, have now come as grads this week. Very exciting time. So I've stayed in touch with some of them. And yeah, we used to catch up at lunches, or they sometimes get invited to a ball. Like there's a lot of avenues for us to keep in touch.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and so it's been great, and it's so exciting to have them back. Yeah.
Well, that's great. That's great to support afterwards as well. Well, it feels like yesterday when I was a first year,
and now
I'm already here. But 1-to-1 was super scary for me. I don't know about Vespa. Vespa, was 1-to-1 scary for you?
For me, 1-to-1 was online mostly because when
it
I
was
studied,
COVID.
it was COVID season, and I did not see a single older person. And I only got to know KLSA through someone that tutored me in high school. So it was through connections. But yeah, it was very scary for me as well.
I mean, navigating law school has always been hard for me. I was in the middle of COVID, but I still went to campus. This year we have 20 Part 1 students in KLSA this year. Woo! Do you have any tips for the first years who are listening today for surviving law school?
Yeah. Study hard. No, I'm kidding. I think there's a good balance. I think 1-to-1 is there's a little bit of pressure at 1-to-1 because you want to get into the next semester and then subsequently to Part 2. So I remember as a first year student being really anxious, like, oh my gosh, you know. But I think as much as studying is important, I would advise doing lots of practice exams. They helped me a lot when I was doing mine. But also just to enjoy first year. Like you're never gonna be first year again. So study hard, but also, you know, play hard in terms of like it's a really good opportunity to meet other people. Like university is the best opportunity to meet other people. And so just make sure you have fun while you're studying. I know it's really hard, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think first year is the last ever time in your life where you'll be treated
like a monthly, you
gotta
enjoy it. You gotta reap the benefits.
You do everything for
I want to be Monday, guys. I want to be Monday. I want to be
reap the benefits.
Yeah, exactly. So last but not least, do you have any mottos you live by, or at least one for today?
I think a lot of people live by moments, so like graduation, admission. But I think aside from those moments, like the mundane life is actually what takes up the majority of your life. And so I advise people to always like just take it day by day and just enjoy the everyday, because that's the majority of your life. And moments are really special as well, but the real moments, aside from the big moments, are actually the important ones.
Yeah, no, that's lovely. You have to learn how to recognize the small happiness in life. Yeah, no, for sure. And so that question wraps it up for today. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your wisdom with the community. The food was also delicious, so thank you, Buddle Findlay, for that.
So for the viewers, remember, clerkships for Buddle Findlay are open now and are closing on the 2nd of April. Make sure to apply. Do not miss this opportunity.
Yeah, apply. So guys, apply.
Right.
Would you like any last words?
I just want to say, if anyone is have any questions about Buddle Findlay, or they're going to come to open day, or they want to just know about Buddle Findlay, or just, you know, also just as a 선배. I'm always reachable. LinkedIn, Facebook, just I'm always here to help and really want to foster the young ones coming in. And so don't feel scared to reach out. I don't bite, so yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you for tuning in for our first podcast episode.
지금까지는 KLSA였습니다.
Very cute.
Wait, can we do that one more time? I want to do that one more time.
Can we not do it?
No. Okay, do it again. Yeah, hold the camera and then do it again. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
어디 봐.
여기 보고.
지금까지는 KLSA였습니다.
Okay.